All right, all right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Top stories not gonna be before you long. I wanted to give you a couple of other updates, rather response reactions. Let me know if you guys want to join the call. You're more than welcome to jump in. Won't be on very long. To connect with you. Let's see here. What's going on? I'm gonna send it to you. I just sent one out to you, Linux. Sent one out to Iris. Sent one out to AO. Sent one out to Manny, Jersey, and Justin. All right. I think everybody. I think everybody's got one. All right. All right. With that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with me. We are getting ready to. Did this die? Oh no, it didn't die. It's good. I don't know if I can remember if I charged this or not. Let's jump into Ebro. Ebro in the mornings. Ebro says that he is leaving radio. We want to, I guess, hear a little bit of what he has to say. My name is Chip. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I'm here in Detroit, Michigan. Scan that link if you want to be uh, involved in our vision board party. It's going to be Friday, January the 9th, 7 p.m. Scan that code right there to RSVP. I'd love to see you there. Ebro in the mornings is leaving radio, leaving New York radio. Now, what we've been hearing about Ebro over the years is that he's like, I'm gonna hear myself. Ebro, can I hear myself? No, I can't hear myself, but it says that I'm being heard. Okay, anyway, Ebro in the morning is an old talking head from the radio. Basically, we're going to listen to him talk for a few, and then we're going to respond to what he's saying here. Let's see what Ebro's got to say. Let's see.
On YouTube. Told y'all a couple of weeks ago when they tried to run on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Ebro in the morning on YouTube.
All right, there you go. That right there is tilling. So that disingenuous laugh right there off top lets me know what you are ashamed to say it. You're ashamed to say that Ebro in the morning now is on YouTube, and I don't want you to miss that. If you don't know this guy closely, then you'll miss it. But he's establishment. Like he is at like what we're learning now as media changes is that like all of the talking heads were just different degrees of establishment. And this was more of the bitter baby mama type of establishment talking head. And with that being said, in many arenas, I guess he would be amongst the group of people who would frown upon the YouTuber. And so to fast forward and him have to acknowledge that he is now essentially a YouTuber, that alone is a humbling way to start he's in shock right now. That's a humbling way for this type of a talking head to have to start their video is catch me on a platform that was previously beneath me. That's what's in that lab. No mistaking about it. That's what's in that lab. Catch me in the same space and domain that used to be reserved for second class people.
Told y'all a couple of weeks ago when they tried to run that Andrew Cuomo play on me. Remember that shit? And then they tried, when the Trumpster got in office. Listen, man, I don't capitulate well, bro.
I don't even know to what extent he's going to go into the whole Trump idea when Trump's got in office. But let's just say this: we're seeing now more than ever, good media, good following just is what it is. You know what I mean? Let's not try to tiptoe around the idea, the fact, the reality that if you got an audience in 2025, you got an audience. If you don't, you don't. And I think what we're beginning to see is that the media heads from the past generation, those individuals who were previously, quite frankly, the gatekeepers of the industry, the rug has been pulled from up under their feet, and they can't hide behind their corporate sponsors, their corporate donors. They can't hide behind the same, facade, so to speak, because those people are beginning to have to move their money to streamers. Those people are beginning to have to move their money and attention to where they realize where the eyeballs are. You know what I mean? Like there's a thin line between setting the narrative, being the narrative, like control. Like there's a thin line between creating the story and then getting it wrong. You know what I mean? And I don't remember him having a lot of cultural moments. What I remember from Ebro is him being a bitter talking head, saying to the generation of musicians that are your mainstream musicians, ironically now, he said to that generation, you won't make it, you're just throwing the game, blah, 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 blah. And so in that moment, you're asking yourself, is he defending the brand of hip hop as it is, or is he trying to hold it back and not understanding what direction the genre, the culture is moving as a whole? And I think that he was just on the wrong side of history. Let's listen to a few more minutes of what he's got to say. If you know Ebro, you know his sentiment. It's not his fault. You know what I mean? Like that's just his sentiment. Like in general, like I think he's just. I give, like, he gives me Don Imus. He gives me Rush Limbaugh, God rest his soul. He gives me um, Howard Stern in a sense, where it's just more like he's just a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of sold. I think that sells when you are like in a position where people have to come by you to go somewhere. And for a long time, Hot 97, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's Angela Martinez. For a long time, in order to consider yourself mainstream, in order to consider yourself a part of the culture, you have to pass by these talking heads. You got to pass by Ebro. You got to pass by the Breakfast Club. And I think the media space overall has moved to a place where you just don't have to pass by these people.
I've been doing this too long. If you look around all the major media outlets, look at all the major media outlets, man. All of them. Look at all of them.
He's been doing it too long. I'm not even sure that he's worth the rest of. I mean, it's really not a real need to listen to everything that he's saying. Again, if you know Ebro, you can go on there and check out the rest of what he's saying. I'm going to go ahead and jump to the next story because I think Ebro is. I mean, we respond to these things because we have to. Because it's the way that you ensure that people get a take or get your take on these issues. Nevertheless, I think Ebro is just, quite frankly, it has been. It's a non-story. I think someone was talking about how long he's been out. I think it was almost 30 years. You compare that to the Breakfast Club, and then you put side by side the cultural moments, the cultural impactful moments that the Breakfast Club have had, and you realize that they've only been in existence a fraction of the time that Ebro in the Morning has been in existence. It's these radio shows, when you look at what's taking place, when you look at it, you realize essentially your sentiment should be, thank you, we had a great run. The media industry and the way and who we listen to has just changed, and Ebro's a part of the past.